Hare Krishna.
Hare
Om
Krishna.
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tado Jayamadhirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abadreshu Nityam Bhāgavata-sevayā Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktir-bhavati Naishtake Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Let's continue going through the purports of the seventh chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, sixth canto. Yesterday we were covering about Guru Avagnya. Avagnya means disobeying or disrespecting or the instructions or etiquettes towards a Guru. So from verse 22 we will continue today. Mm. तस्यायम् अनस्यासीत् परेभ्यो वा पराभवः प्रक्षीणेभ्यः स्ववैरिभ्यः समृद्धानां च यः सुराः. So what happened is when Brihaspati disappeared, in spite of the demigods trying to find him so that Lord Indra can ask forgiveness, beg for forgiveness, he was not there. And that moment, from that moment onwards, the demigods became weaker and weaker. And that's the previous shloka. It says, Lord Brahma, O best of the unfortunately, because of madness resulting from your material opulence, you failed to receive Brihaspati properly when he came to your assembly. Because he is aware of the Supreme Brahman and fully in control of his senses, he is the best of the Brahmanas. Therefore, it is very astonishing that you have acted impudently towards him. So, Lord Brahma is saying what you have done. In the purport, Prabhupada mentions that Lord Brahma recognized the Brahmanical qualities of Brihaspati, who was the spiritual master of the demigods because of his awareness of the Supreme Brahman. Brihaspati was very much in control of his senses and mind, and therefore he was a most qualified Brahmana. So Lord Brahma chastised the demigods for not properly respecting him. So sometimes such kind of chastisement helps us to wake up, to understand what kind of a blunder have we committed, what kind of offensive mentality we are carrying with us. Lord Brahma wanted to impress upon the demigods that one's guru should not be disrespected under any circumstances. When Brihaspati entered the assembly of the demigods, they and their king Indra took him for granted. Since he came every day, they thought they did not need to show special respect. As it is said, familiarity breeds contempt. And being very much displeased, Brihaspati immediately left Indra's palace. So, in one sense we are recognizing or we are discussing that Lord Brahma recognized the brahmanical qualities of Brihaspati. So Brihaspati, being a brahmana or first class brahmana, uh, definitely should have many great qualities. In that, of course, forgiveness is one. Why not? And also not even feeling offended, second. But why did Brihaspati leave shows us that the demigods had offended, and, so they are offenders at the lotus feet of Brihaspati. So a guru uh, sometimes does this, that in the uh, to open up the eyes of the disciples, mm, or his followers. Guru sometimes becomes very strong. He becomes very strong, so, or stern, not to just be, okay, yeah, they will learn, okay, yeah. Sometimes the role of guru is to be strong and strict, to be very uh, unshaken. So himself should be steady, and not only that, for his disciples. Here, Narottam Das Thakur says, "Chakshu dana dila ye janme janme Prabhu se." The Guru gives the spiritual insight to the disciple, and therefore the Guru should be considered his master life after life. Under no circumstances should the Guru be disrespected, but the demigods, being puffed up by their material possessions, were disrespectful to their Guru. So, as one of the lessons uh, that has a high importance as part of the etiquettes is that one should offer his due respects to Guru and never take him for granted. Okay, he is like nice. Oh, maybe he's also like us. That okay, maybe he knows a bit more because he is in the Krishna consciousness a few years earlier than us, and because of that, he knows more. Okay, he has been traveling all around the world, so yeah, maybe he knows a little more. But after all, I have seen that my spiritual master also doesn't know anything, or he doesn't know something. This mind set, or this mentality is very, very, very detrimental, very dangerous. What is our qualification to comment on or to estimate the greatness of Guru? Hmm? The more we commit that sense out of our envy or out of our ignorance, yeah, we disrespect. And here, this is what happened in the case of Indra. And it says, Srimad Bhagavatam advises Acharyam Mam Vijaniyan Nava Manyeta Karhichit Na Martya Buddhya Suyeta. The Acharya should always be offered respectful obeisances. One should never envy the Acharya, considering him an ordinary human being. Yeah. So, so Lord Brahma is saying, because of your behavior, Lord Brahma, Brihaspati, uh, left. And because of your misbehavior towards Brihaspati, you have been defeated by the demons. When the Shakti is taken away, that power through which we are functioning, whether it could be administrative power, yeah, because you're okay. Now Indra is the head of the administration, right? So he's the head of the heavenly planets, and then um, um, but now what happened when his spiritual master left? Then the power is gone. So, in a way, we can see the power of a person is not just because of his role, but the power is actually coming from the blessings of and of his guru. And as soon as when guru left, because of being offended, so everything, all the powers have been, yeah, um, not working, yeah, so to say. And in the purport, Prabhupada mentions the Devas are celebrated for fighting with the Asuras perpetually. This word perpetually is very important. It comes across in the seventh canto also. Perpetually means always, it goes on. In such fights, the Asuras were always defeated, but this time the demigods were defeated. Why it is always going? In fact, in one of the purport, it's mentioned there is always a good and evil in our own heart, and there is always perpetually fight between good and bad. The fight between devas and asuras, yeah, is not just in once upon a time stories, but that's happening. There is always demonic nature in us, and also this devotee nature in us, and they fight. And what if we want to be successful devotees, what we need to do is we need to take shelter of the Guru with the blessings of the Guru, with his blessings. Then the divine energy overrules the demonic nature in our heart. Here it says that demons became stronger, they could defeat. And why? The reason I stated here was that they had offended their spiritual master. This impudent disrespect of their spiritual master was the cause of their defeat by the demons. Huh? As stated in the Shastras, when one disrespects a respectable superior, one loses his longevity and the result of his pious activities, and in this way, one is degraded. In fact, the power of Guru, yeah, is amazing. In the verse 23, Magavan Magavan Dvishatah Pasya Prakshinan Guru Atikramat Samprati Upachitan Bhuyah Kavyam Aradhya Bhaktitah Adadiran Nilayam Mamapi Bhrugu Devataha. So here, O Indra, Lord Brahma is saying, your enemies, the demons, were extremely weak because of their disrespect toward Sukracharya. But since they have now worshipped Sukracharya with great devotion, they have again become powerful. By their devotion to Shukracharya, they have increased their strength so much that now they are even able to easily seize my abode from me. Lord Brahma is saying that is the situation. The Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in Guru Ashtakam, he mentioned Yasya Prasadat Bhagavat Prasado, Yasya Prasada Nakati Kutopi. So the mercy of Guru, it says, Lord Brahma wanted to point out to the demigods that they, by the strength of the Guru, one can become most powerful within this world, and by the displeasure of Guru, one can lose everything. Uh, in fact, we know this Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Langayate Girim Yat Kripa Tamaham Bande Shri Guru Deenatarinam Paramanandamadamam. So, Guru empowers his disciples to do unimaginable services. We may think, oh, I am common, I'm so fallen. Yes, we are so fallen, but we are still cannot become so hopeless that we can't do anything. If the blessings of Guru flows in, and the mercy of him is always there upon us, then we can do uh, impossible things possible. Yeah. So in the case demons who always used to lose, but because they have worshipped the their guru, hmm, and their guru was very pleased, and because he was pleased, and then he bestowed all energy or shakti upon them. So with that, what happened? Yeah, he said, Tripishtapam Kim Ganayanti Abhedya Mantra Bhrigunam Anusikshitartha Navipra Govinda Gav Ishwaranam Bhavanti Abhadrani Nareshwaranam. Because of their firm determination, the Asuras to follow the instructions of Sukracharya, his disciples, the demons, are now unconcerned about the demigods. In fact, kings and others who have determined faith in the mercy of Brahmanas, cows, and the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, and who always worship these three are always strong in their position. What are the three things? Huh? Guru, hmm, who have determined faith in the mercy of Brahmanas, yeah, cows, and the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. From the instructions of Lord Brahma, it is understood that everyone should very faithfully worship the Brahmanas, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the cows. Huh. Therefore, one who worships Govinda must satisfy him by worshipping the Brahmanas and cows. In summary, although the demigods were very powerful in material opulence, the demons defeated them in the battle because the demigods had behaved disrespectfully towards a Brahman, Brihaspati, who was their spiritual master. So this Guru Avagnya is so much highlighted in this. Tad Vishwarupam Bhajatasu Vipram Vipasvinam Tvastram Athatmavantam Sabhajito Arthan Sa Vidhasyate no Boom Yadi Kshamishadvam Uthasya Karma. So now he is saying, I instruct you to approach Vishwarupa, the son of Tvasta, and accept him as your Guru. Why? Because he is a pure and very powerful Brahmana. Powerful Brahmana. This is one thing. Undergoing austerity and penances. Pleased by your worship, he will fulfill your desires, provided that you tolerate his being inclined to the side with demons. So, this son of Vesta, Vishwarupa, in one way, he has interest to favor the demons because his mother side are from demonic background, and he always had this to favor the demons. And so Brahmaji is saying, okay, he is very qualified. He has all this, penances and austerities he has done, and yeah, you have to tolerate his propensity that when he is doing yajna, he may also give some power to the demons. Otherwise, he's all right. श्रीसुक उवाच त एवम् उदिता राजन् ब्रह्मणा विगतज्वराः ऋषिं त्वष्ट्राम् उपवृज्य परिस्वज्येतम् अब्रुवन्. So after this, Shukadeva Goswami said, thus advised by Lord Brahma, all these demigods felt relief. They went to Vishwarupa and then they started offering prayers and requested him. Shri Deva Uchuhu वयं ते अतिथयः प्राप्त आश्रमं भद्रमस्तु ते काम सपा सम्पाद्यतां तत पित्राणां समयोचितः. The demigod said, beloved Vishwarupa, may there be all good fortune for you. We, the demigods, have come to your ashram as your guests. Please try to fulfill our desires according to time, since we are on the level of your parents. So he's already saying serving parents is your responsibility or duty. That's why, yeah, can you do this? Putranam hi paro dharma pitra sushrushanam satam api putravatam brahman kim uta brahmacharinam. He's saying the highest duty of a son, even though he has sons of his own, is to serve his parents. And what to speak of a son who is brahmachari? Hmm? आचार्यो ब्रह्मणो मूर्ति पिता मूर्ति प्रजापते भ्राता मरुत्पतेर्मूर्तिर्माता साक्षात् क्षिते तनुः दयाया भगिनी मूर्तिर् धर्मस्यात्मा तिथि स्वयं अग्निरभ्यागतो मूर्ति सर्वभूतानि चात्मनः. The Acharya, the supreme, the spiritual master who teaches all the Vedic knowledge and gives initiation by offering the sacred thread, is the personification of the Vedas. Huh? So Acharyas are personification of Vedas. Similarly, a father personifies Lord Brahma, a brother King Indra, a mother the planet Earth, and a sister Mercy. A guest personifies religious principles, and invited guest personifies the demigod Agni, and all living entities personify Lord Vishnu, the supreme personality of Godhead. In Chanakya Niti, there is this Atmavat Sarva Bhuteshu. One should observe all living entities to be on the same level as oneself. This verse describes the different ways in which one should respect a guru, father, brother, sister, guest, and so on. Tasmat pitranam arthanam atim parabhavam tapasapa nayam tata sandesha kartum arhasi. So, my dear son, we have been defeated by our enemies and therefore we are very aggrieved. Please mercifully fulfill our desires by relieving our distress through the strength of your austerity. Please fulfill our prayers. व्रीमहे त्वोपाध्यायं ब्रह्मिष्टं ब्राह्मणं गुरुं यथाञ्जसा विजेष्यामः सपत्नां स्तव तेजसा. Since you are completely aware of the Supreme Brahman, you are a perfect Brahmana, and therefore you are the spiritual master of all orders of life. We accept you as our spiritual master and director so that by the power of your austerity, we may easily defeat the enemies who have conquered us. Na garhayanti hi atheshu gavishyanghri abhivadanam chandodhyo anyatra na brahman vayo jaishyasya karanam. Do not fear criticism for being younger than us. Such etiquette does not apply in regards to Vedic mantras. Except in relationship to Vedic mantras, seniority is determined by age. But one may offer respectful obeisances even to a younger person who is advanced in chanting Vedic mantras. Therefore, although you are junior in relationship to us, you may become our priest without hesitation. So, etiquette, yeah, this chapter I think should have been named etiquette. It is said, Vruddhatvam, yeah, old age, Vruddhatvam Vayasa Vina. One may be senior without being advanced in age. Even if one is not old, one gains seniority if he is senior in knowledge. Hmm. Vishwarupa was junior in relationship to the demigods because he was their nephew. But the demigods wanted to accept him as their priest, and therefore he would have to accept obeisances from them. The demigods explained that this should not be a cause for hesitation. He could become their priest because he was advanced in Vedic knowledge. Similarly, Chanakya Pandit advises Nichad api uttamam jnanam. One may accept education from a member who is of a lower social order. The Brahmanas, members of most elevated Varna, are teachers, but a person in a lower family, such as family of Kshatriya, Vaishya, or Shudra, may be accepted as a teacher if he has knowledge. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu approved of this when he expressed his opinion. Kiba Vipra Kiba Nyasa Shudra Kene Naya Yei Krishna Tattva Veta Se Guru Hai. It doesn't matter whether one is a Brahmana, Shudra, Grihastha, or Sannyas. Kiva Vipra. Vipra means Brahmana. Uh, Kiba Nyasi means sannyas. Uh, Shudra Kene Naya. Yai Krishna Tattva Veda. It doesn't matter, even Shudra Kene Naya. If someone knows Krishna Tattva, say Guru hai. A spiritual advanced person has nothing to do with such designation. Therefore, if one is advanced in the science of Krishna consciousness, regardless of his position in human society, he may become a spiritual master. After this, I mean, Shri Rishi Uvacha, Shukadeva Goswami is saying, Abhyartita Sura Ganai Paura Hitye Mahatapaha Savishwarupa Sthanaha Prasanna Shlakshanaya Gira. So he was very happy that the Devatas themselves came. When all the demigods requested the great Vishwarupa to be their priest, Vishwarupa, who was advanced in austerities, was very pleased. And then he replied, Shri Vishwarupa Uvacha Vigarhitam Dharmashilair Brahmavarcha Upa Vyayam Katham no Mad Vidhonatha Lokeshair लोकशैर् अभियाचितं प्रत्याख्यास्यति तच्छिष्य स एव स्वार्थ उच्यते. Sri Vishwarup said, O demigods, although the acceptance of priesthood is decreed as causing the loss of previously acquired Brahmanical power, how can someone like me refuse to accept your personal request? You are all exalted commanders of the entire universe. I am your disciple and must take many lessons from you. Therefore, I cannot refuse you. I must agree for my own benefit. Here, the purport Prabhupada is saying the profession of a qualified Brahmana or Patan Bhatan Yajan Yajan Dan Pratigraha. Yajan Yajan means the Brahmana becomes the priest of the populace for the sake of their elevation. Patan means to learn and also to teach. Yajan Yajan to take and to give. Uh, sorry, Dan means to take and to give. Uh, One who accepts the post of spiritual master neutralizes the sinful reactions of Yajaman, Yajan, the one on whose behalf he performs yajna. Thus, the result of pious acts previously performed by the priest or spiritual master are diminished. Therefore, priesthood is not accepted by learned Brahmanas. Paurohitya, if someone is asking, well, can you do this yagya, that yagya? It is not so easy because it is eating up one's own piety that is going to the Yajaman. Nevertheless, the great learned Brahmanas Vishwarupa became the priest of the demigod because of his profound respect for them. अकिञ्चनानां हि धनं शिलोञ्चनं तेनेह निर्वर्तितः साधु सत्क्रियः कथं विगतं नो करोमि अधीश्वराः पौरो दश हृष्यति येन दुर्मतिः. Huh? He said, O exalted governors of various planets, the true Brahmana who has no material possessions maintains himself by the profession of accepting Shilonchana. In other words, he picks up grains left in the field and on the ground in the wholesale market place. By this means, householder Brahmanas who actually abide by the principles of austerity and penances maintain themselves and their families and perform all necessary pious activities. A Brahmana who desires to achieve happiness by gaining wealth through um, professional priesthood must certainly have a very low mind. How shall I accept your priesthood? Hmm. And तथापि न प्रतिब्रूयां गुरुभिः प्रार्थितं कियत् भग भवतां प्रार्थितं सर्वं प्राणैरर्थैश्च साधये. All of you are my superiors. Therefore, although accepting priesthood is sometimes reproachable, I cannot refuse even a small request from you. Agree to be your priest. I shall fulfill your request by dedicating my life and possessions. Shri Bhadarayano cha uvacha tebhya evam pratishrutya vishwarupo mahatapa paurohityam vritaschakre paramena samadhina. Sri Sukadeva Goswami continued, O king, after making this promise to the demigods, the exalted Vishwarupa, surrounded by demigods, performed the necessary priestly activities with great enthusiasm and attention. And Suradvisham Sriyam Guptan Aushanasyapi Vidyaya Achidhyadan Mahedraya Vaishnavya Vidyaya Vibhuhum. The opulence of demigods, opulence of demons, who are generally known as the enemies of the demigods, was protected by the talents and tactics of Sukracharya. But Vishwarupa, who was most powerful, composed a powerful protective prayer known as Narayana Kavacha. By this intelligent mantra, he took away the opulence of demons and gave it to Mahendra, the king of heaven. So that is the plan. And anyway, the purport is highlighting Huh? Sometimes the distinction between demigods and demons is that the demigods are all devotees of Lord Vishnu, whereas the demons are devotees of demigods like Lord Shiva, Goddess Kali, Goddess Durga. Sometimes the demons are also devotees of Lord Brahma. For example, Hiranyakashipu was a devotee of Lord Brahma, Ravana was devotee of Lord Shiva, Mahishasura was a devotee of Goddess Durga. Huh? The demigods are devotees of Lord Vishnu, whereas demons are always against the Vishnu Bhaktas or Vaishnavas. Herein we see that Vishwarupa made for the demigods a protective covering saturated with a Vishnu mantra. Sometimes the Vishnu mantra is called Vishnu Jvara and the Shiva mantra is called Shiva Jvara. We find in the Shastras that sometimes the Shiva Jvara and Vishnu Jvara are employed in the fights between the demons and demigods. The word Suradvisham, which in this verse means of the enemies of demigods, also refers to the atheists. Srimad Bhagavatam elsewhere says that Lord Buddha appeared for the purpose of bewildering the demons and atheists. The Supreme Personality of Godhead always awards his benediction to devotees. The Lord himself confirms in Bhagavad Gita, Kaunteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranashyati. O son of Kunti, declare it boldly that my devotee never perishes. Yaya Gupta Sahasraksho Jigyesura Chamur Vibhu Tam Praha Samahendraya Vishwarupa Udaradihi. Vishwarupa, who was most liberal, spoke to King Indra. He has a body full of eyes. Sahasraksha, the secret hymn that protected Indra and conquered the military power of the demons. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Yes, this comes to an end with a bunch of key values as the devotees we should aspire for, develop in us, and show uh, respect towards the seniors, superiors, yeah, superiors, seniors, towards a spiritual master, and always be under the protection. When we say the strength that we are getting from them is actually a protection, when the strength doesn't protect us anymore, then we get degraded and fall down. And of course, yeah, one should not take it like, ah, okay, then there is always Narayana Kavacha. I can do anything, whatever I want. And then always, if I'm doing Narayana Kavacha, this Narayana Kavacha is protecting me against the demons. That is very cheap, low class mentality. Uh, of course, Narayana Kavacha has its, yeah, that it gave God protection to Indra. But Indra realized his mistake. He repented and he is not committing again. So we should not use this as a um, to strengthen our um negative dealings. Yeah, Hare Krishna. Any questions or thoughts? No, then yeah, wish you a nice evening. So tomorrow we'll cover this. What is this? Narayan Kavacha. How is it performed? Of course, in Kali Yuga, as day before yesterday, when I was in Gauradesh in the class, His Holiness Bhakti Bhushan Maharaj was mentioning, emphasizing Kali Yuga is Sankirtan Yajna. So that gives protection, 360-degree protection from all sides. And in fact, not only protection, but also gives us the strength to get delivered from this cycle of birth and death. Hmm. So, but nevertheless, yeah, we are going through Bhagavatam. In those times, it was Narayan Kavacha which helped Indra to recover in his um, position. Yeah, Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. पंचाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यो च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो। Randhra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.